Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Tics. I want to give a big shout out to Gearbest for sending us a production unit of the Microwear H5. This is the prototype. As you recall, we've reviewed this and dissected it and talked about it, and wow, we got quite a few little videos up about it. But today we're going to take a look at a different version of this one. Not the prototype, but the final production. This is how it comes in a can. This is the Microwear can from Gearbest with a user's manual, a little package, and the watch inside of it with its nice little cover. This is the really hot red one, and looks pretty much the same as the prototype. However, when you turn it on, you notice that's been booting up. Uh-oh, it's been on. All right, let me turn it off. See, I've been setting it all up so that I can give you this demo. There, you see the turn-off said Microwear, and when you turn it back on again, it also is going to have the Microwear logo on it, which is different than the Fun OS generic that came with the watch. Now, you see this often with a lot of different watches that are branded, rebranded, or whatever. Turns out Microwear is actually the maker of this watch, and they can put a little thing at the beginning and the end that overrides the standard boot up, and it'll show their logo. You see that with Finau and Number One, and IQI, and everybody else. And now with Microwear as well. So this is the production unit. Now, before we get any further, I want to take you over to settings, take you into settings, it's a little sluggish, all the way down to about and down to the build number. That's what we want to be examining between these two units, because this was the original build number. Now, while this one's booting up, I also want to mention that I got a production unit of the exact same watch that was the prototype that has exactly the same build number in it, so its behavior, and I've already checked it out, was identical to the prototype. But the build number on this one is different. When we go in here and look in settings, and I give it time this time, come down to About Watch, and look in here, you'll notice this is 2018, January 15th, if I'm reading it right. And this was 2017, December 15th, so a month newer. Well, lots of questions about what is that difference between these two watches in terms of what the enhancements of the new firmware have done. And that's what we're going to explore today. We want to know about the camera. Has it changed? Do we want to know about 4G capability? Is it going to work in the United States? And we want to know whether or not it's going to support Bluetooth calling. This is that opportunity to have an app that lets you connect with your phone in a tethering sense and make and receive phone calls tethered, turning a standard standalone Android watch into a dual mode watch. We know they're doing it with the H1 or 2. What about the 5? Did they come along with the software upgrade? Let's dive in and find out. To get there, though, I'm going to set aside the prototype, and I'm going to turn on and boot up the other brand spanking new but earlier version. See, it starts with Fun OS instead of Microwear of the H5. Be right back when that's fully booted up. Original firmware, new firmware. Let's walk through and see what differences there are. When we scroll down, those are all the same. Those are all the same, and those are all the same. When we scroll to the right, we're into the same fitness categories and information. No changes there. And we wouldn't expect there to be, really. Rides and marathons, half and full, all of that's identical. Then we got to get back and slide to the left. And here's where now we're going to look and see if we have an app that's been added for Bluetooth calling. New one, old one. You got clock and settings, And something here in the old one that's in Chinese that's been removed in the new one. We have Communication Center, which is a folder that has phone, messaging, and contacts. It has phone and messaging and contacts and nothing else. It's identical in here in the communications section. Maybe it's someplace else. Browser's the same. Tools has your basic calculator and calendar and nothing else. There's your camera. You want to check that first right now? All right. I'm turning it on. I'm getting a picture of my ceiling on this one. And there's my filming camera. And somewhere I should be there. There I am. Now, you notice I'm upside down. So if I'm going to try to do a chat with this, I better have a chin lift in order to get it looking good. Ooh, hello everybody. There, okay, if I talk that way, I look really good. That's how it's working on the old one. Let's see how it looks on the new one. Turn on the camera. Allow the camera. We haven't done this before. Aha! It's still upside down. There was rumor out that it was going to flip it around so that it would be right side up so you could use this watch for video chat. And as you can see, there's been no change in that particular firmware update. Okay. Back. Over. That was camera. Style is the same. That's just the layout. We've got them individually here. The file manager folder has your downloads and any change in memory or anything. Internal storage, 3.8, 3.83. They've taken you down to 1-digit accuracy instead of 2. There's all of your folders. We're not going to go into all of them. But no major change, is there? Total space 8 gig. This says total space 5.1 gig. So the new one is interpreting your overall total space, which includes the amount that's been used. This one's a different number. That's probably the 8 minus the 3.83, giving you the 5.81. Is that the right math? Anyway, that's been a slight change. Okay. The Music Center is where you have your sound recorder and music, but nothing about Bluetooth calling. Your multimedia should be your gallery and videos. No change there. Then you get down to the Play Store on the old one and on the new one. Both of them have the Google Play Store installed, which I have logged into, activated, and downloaded speed tests, because that's what we're going to do when we get to checking out the cellular. So we have this little Fangzhou, which is like a tracking geofencing app. So you can keep track of whoever's wearing it if you have it with the GPS on and the SIM card in it. And then Speed Test, which is the app, of course, that I put in there. And I just ran it a little while ago with Wi-Fi on so that we could evaluate how well it's performing, both of the watches, if there's any update or change in a Wi-Fi arena that's got 100 gigabyte typical download speed. At least that's what they say. But I usually get about 50 or so with my phone. And now with the watches, both using Wi-Fi, both connected to the same network, we getting a very fast 12 to 13 millisecond ping. Ping is how long it takes to go to the server and get a signal back again. I'm getting 27, 23. They're both testing at the same time. When I did it individually, I was getting 48 and 50. So I guess it matters how much traffic there is between here and the server, or at the Wi-Fi. Okay, so now what we've done so far is verified that I do not have the Bluetooth calling app in here. I do not have the camera image reversed so that you could use it for video chat. It's only for landscape pictures. And now what I need to do is put the SIM card in both of them, turn off the Wi-Fi, check the speed test, also check back here where it says The blue little thing will be either 3G or 4G, and if they've updated it to work in the US with the firmware, then that should be 4G. Otherwise, it'll say 3G. I'm not going to put you through putting in the SIM card. You saw that before. I'll be right back when it's installed in the old one first. We're back up with an AT&T 4G LTE SIM installed. Let's check it out. What do you see? I see 3G. You see 3G? Okay, let's turn off the Wi-Fi. Let's go over to the speed test. And let's run it and see what kind of cellular speeds we're getting now. If we are running at 3G, and I mentioned this in the other video, somewhere between 1 to 3 megabytes download speed, and upload about 1 typically. Ping is going to be 150 or so milliseconds. All right, 97, not too bad. Don't even see the needle measuring. Oh, there it is, it's popping up. If it were 4G, we would see maybe 10, 15. 3.5. Okay, we're getting 3.5 megabits. I usually have 2 bars where I'm located, not a strong 5 bars. So those of you who are on the AT&T Unlimited plan with free HBO or whatever know that they throttle you at 3 megabits on your speed on your phone for watching videos. So this is strong enough on 3G now. It's not 4G in the old one. It's strong enough that you could actually stream regular HBO video. Very cool. All right, boom. Let's switch over and put the SIM in the new one with the firmware upgrade and see what numbers we get. 3.53 and 0.81. Once again, to put the SIM in the back, we lift up on the cover here, and we just simply slide it directly in with the little notch. I'm not going to bother to put the back on, and then we power it up. Alrighty, let's see what happens. Pulling it down. Still 3G in the USA. Oh well. No 4G for us, not yet, not with a firmware update. And speed test wise, let's see if we can get at least as good as the old firmware, if not better, as we load it. And we begin. Looking for our ping. Coming back at, oh wow, 11 milliseconds, really? Oh, that's an improvement. Oh, look at that download screaming. What are you going to get? 3.5? You're kidding. 46? And, oh, you know what? I'm so embarrassed. I forgot to turn off Wi-Fi. Well, now you know what you get when you only do one of them. Oh, I thought we were, oh man, I thought that was, okay, darn, let's turn off the Wi-Fi. Silly me. Okay, we're going to test 3G with Wi-Fi off. No, not good. That would have been something. Okay, retest it. Try it again. Looking for a ping. Hello, anybody out there? Yeah. Oh, N46. Okay. A pings means, it's going to take that long to get over and then get back, so it's just going to slow things down. Oh, no. 1.95. Not even 2, when we were getting 3.5 on the old one. I call it old. They're both brand new. It's just that this one came in with the old original firmware, and this one has the latest firmware update. A little bit faster upload speed, significantly lower download speed, just to give it another try to see if it's sort of like blood pressure. You know how every time you take a blood pressure reading, we keep getting a different answer? Well, maybe it's the same way here, just to check it. How are we doing? 1.16? Not good. That's the brand new one. No reversal in the video, no Bluetooth calling app, and half the speed on 3G and no 4G in the USA. Hey, I'm reporting it as it is, folks, and if you want to pick one of these things up, Gearbest is our best shot for it. They're the ones that sent us a sample. We really appreciate it. Good, bad, or ugly, they are our supporters, and there should be a discount for you, maybe a bigger one than you expected, considering no 4G in the USA. But, you know, it does get good 4G in places that it works. And if you remember the Chig's tech review, I've got a link. I'll have a link down here again. Go over there. He does a review of this watch, and it screams beautifully in Europe. So 4G really does work. The way the antennas are in the bands. Now, this one, you can see it. See the reflection in the light? Look at the pattern they had to do to make a 4G band. Can you see that? I can see it. Anyway, it's like a snake in there. And that's how they're getting the 4G signal into these new ones. There's more coming. There's a couple on the way in that are 4G. I just keep belaboring the point on this one because it's the only sample I got that's new technology, Android 6 and 4G, and we just love to see this thing work eventually here in the USA. And of course, wherever you are, hope you get fast speeds and smooth seas. We'll see you again soon. Lots more to come, and yeah. Also, I knew there was one more thing. This is the beginning of February. Folks, February 10th through the end of February is the big New Year's celebration in China. No matter what watch you're interested in, if you want to buy it, I suggest you do it like within the next few days so that you can get it in the mail. Otherwise, you place an order around the 10th or later, it's probably not going to even be fulfilled for 3 weeks, maybe 4. Just saying. Make your choice. The spreadsheet, the new spreadsheet is up. tinyurl.android watches will take you to the folder. You can download the Android spreadsheet that shows you the comparison of all of them, updated as of February 1st. Highly recommend it. And make your choice soon so that you can pick up the watch of your dreams and actually have it before the end of February rather than the end of March. See you later. Oh yeah, one more thing. In terms of updates, this is a new firmware, right? We checked it out, and it was the 2018 version, January 15th. Perhaps they're going to do another update, and maybe there's one waiting for us. Let's check and see. Check for update. And your device software is currently up to date. There is no new update. Well, that could mean one of two things. There's no update, or the update process isn't working. Well, the reason I'm concerned about that is let's look at the old one. Here we are with the one we just looked at that had the original firmware in it, right, from 2017. You'd expect, since there's new firmware available, that when I go in here to do a wireless update, it's going to check and give me that there's no software update available. How could that be? We know there's software available, but it's not updating. There may be future software available, but it's not updating. Point of bringing this up to you is if you want to update to newer firmware, unless they fix the OTA delivery, you also may need to manually flash firmware to your watch. With that said, I'm going to have a link in the show notes below to the firmware section of the Proboards. You can drop over there and check out whether or not there's H5 firmware available. And I'm not even sure if they're going to cover that because these are square watches and they're all about round watches on the Proboards. Well, if I find a source for firmware from Microwear, we'll put that link in there for you. Then you got to go through the flashing process to update. If you got the older one, that might be good news that you can't update it if it actually slowed things down on 3G. But just to prove it, I'm going to switch them around, and I'm going to do, it's another day, it's tomorrow already from yesterday, what you just watched, and I'm going to install the SIM card in each of these and give you a quick check again to see if we're getting the same kind of numbers, okay? So this time I double checked, Wi-Fi is off. By the way, it was on when I was checking for updates on both of them, verified that. It's off now, the SIM card is in here. This is the new watch. The cell tower, I think, is off that way. So I'm just going to hold it here and see what we get. 99 milliseconds. That's much better than what we got yesterday, 140 something, right? Oh, you can actually see the needle now. Look at that, 4.7. 4.7, the same watch I was only getting 1.19 or 1.5. So, I don't know, Wi-Fi is like blood pressure in these watches. You get different numbers all the time. 0.8 on the upload. Once again, just to verify it, because more readings is better, right? And you've got all the time in the world, so do I. So, okay, 96 milliseconds again. Aha, so maybe the new firmware isn't all that bad. Maybe it's just an aberration of the moment. 4.02. That's pretty decent, 3G speeds, and it beat what we had yesterday. However, this is a new day, and maybe it's a different signal thing happening right now. 0.82. Consistency there, about 4, about 1. I'm going to turn this off, switch to SIM, and let's see how the watch on the original firmware does. Let's give it a try. Beginning test. Checking for ping. We were at about 99. And we're coming in 99. Whoa, did you see the needle pop up and then drop down? Interesting. Climbing up a bit now. And topping out at, wow, 4.25. Huh. Interesting, huh? And now the download should be about 0.8 or so if it's matching the other results. 1.29. It is just like blood pressure. Totally unreliable. Totally different numbers each time we test it. And it depends on the traffic, and I don't know what position it is in the room. Who knows? Anyway, 107 now we're getting for the ping. Download speed of 4, 4.5. 4.5 almost, 4.4. So both of them are coming in really good. I cannot discount that there's a change whatsoever in firmware that affected the cellular. For whatever strange reason, we were getting some different low numbers yesterday, but we're not seeing that today. Two more things to point out. The firmware did not fix in the settings the clock stuff. If you recall, in the original review, we were looking to set the date and time, which you can do, but you can't change it from 12 to 24 hours. It's always in 24 hours. No AM and PM. Check that with the new firmware. That has not been fixed either. You still are locked into your clock showing 24-hour time, not 12-hour time. And finally, there's no tethering app. If you recall, checking it out, there's no QR code to scan to download an app, Firmware, or any of them to your phone that allows you to tether the watch to the phone to get notifications or even to send the fitness data to your phone. Doesn't exist. Microwear said it's coming. It did not come with the new firmware, so at this point you still are locked in having your data only in the watch and not transferable to the phone. With that said, it's a good watch with an upside down, funny looking camera that points at the ceiling. I don't know. It's the first 4G watch that doesn't do 4G. We'll see you again. Hopefully some new units will be coming in soon. And if there are any more updates that change things, I'll either put it in the show notes or make another video for you. So check down below and we'll see what happens.